Review: Dune, Part 2. A very immense, breathtaking wonder science fiction. Dune Part 2 is a 2024 American epic science fiction film directed and co-produced by Denis Villeneuve, who co-wrote the screenplay with Jon Spaihts. Produced by Legendary Pictures and distributed by Warner Bros. It is a sequel to Dune 2021, as the second of a two-part adaptation of the 1965 novel Dune by Frank Herbert. Princess Ireland Carino secretly journals that Paul Atreides may still be alive, while her father, Emperor Chalamet, is dispirited after assisting in the extermination of House Atreides. On Arrakis, Stilgar's Fremen troops, including Paul and Lady Jessica, overcome a Harkonnen patrol. When Jessica and Paul reach Siege Tabor, some Fremen suspect they are spies, while Stilgar and others see signs of the prophecy that a mother and son from the outer world will bring prosperity to Arrakis. Stilgar informs Jessica that their reverend mother is dying, and she must become her replacement by drinking the water of life, a fatal poison for males and the untrained. However, Jessica successfully transmutes the poison, surviving and inheriting the memories of every female ancestor in her lineage. Remarkably, the water also prematurely awakens the mind of her unborn daughter, Aelia, allowing Jessica to communicate with her. Together, they agree that convincing the skeptical in northern Arrakis of the prophecy should be their first priority. Meanwhile, Chani and her friend Shishakli believe the prophecy is false and designed to control the Fremen. Nevertheless, when Paul delivers a speech about not seeking power but wanting only to fight alongside them, Chani develops respect for him. Paul and Chani gradually fall in love as Paul embraces the Fremen ways, learning their language, taking part in rites such as riding a sandworm, becoming a Fedaykin fighter, and helping raid Harkonnen spice operations. Paul takes on the Fremen names Usul and Muad'Dib. Due to the devastating spice raids, Baron Harkonnen replaces his nephew Rabban as Arrakis' ruler with his psychotic, murderous younger nephew, Feyd-Rautha. Lady Margot Fenring, a Bene Gesserit acolyte, is sent to evaluate Feyd's suitability as a prospective Kwisatz Haderach, and to seduce him in order to secure his genes. Jessica travels south to unite with more Fremen fundamentalists, but Paul fears his visions which show him that a holy war will manifest if he goes south as a messiah. Staying in the north, he reunites with Gurney Halleck, who leads him to House Atreides' hidden atomic stockpile. Feyd-Rautha attacks Siege Tabor and kills Shishakli, which forces the survivors, including Paul, to journey south. Upon arriving, Paul drinks the water of life and falls into a deep coma. Chani is forced to awaken him by mixing her tears with the water across his lips. He attains both prescience and knowledge of the past, seeing a vision of an adult Aelia on a water-filled Arrakis, and discovering that Jessica is the Baron's daughter, making Paul both an Atreides and a Harkonnen. The southern Fremen leaders urge Paul to challenge Stilgar for leadership, but he refuses and instead proves himself by reciting the thoughts of two Fremen spectators. He declares himself the Lysan al-Gaib and sends a challenge to Shaddam, who then arrives on Arrakis with Ireland, Mohiam, and his Sardaukar troops. Paul's Fremen surround Shaddam's forces and attack, using atomics and sandworms. The Sardaukar are overpowered, Paul kills the Baron, and Shaddam and his entourage are taken captive. Gurney intercepts and kills a fleeing Rabban. As Paul challenges Shaddam for the throne, demanding Ireland's hand in marriage, the great houses arrive in orbit. Paul threatens to destroy Arrakis' spice fields with the Atreides atomics if they intervene. Shaddam chooses Feyd-Rautha as his champion. The two engage in a knife duel where Feyd nearly kills Paul, and Paul fatally stabs him. Ireland agrees to Paul's demand of marriage on condition that her father lives. Shaddam kneels and kisses Paul's signet ring. Above Arrakis, the great houses refuse to accept Paul's ascendancy, so Paul orders the Fremen to attack the orbiting fleet in response. As Stilgar leads the Fremen onto captured Sardaukar ships, Jessica and Aelia reflect that this is the beginning of Muad'Dib's holy war. A heartbroken Chani refuses to bow to Paul and departs on a sandworm. Movie development. Development began after Legendary Pictures acquired film and television rights for Dune in 2016. Villeneuve signed on as director for the film in 2017, intending to split the adaptation of the novel into two parts. Due to its complexity, production contracts were only secured for a first film. However, with the second film having to be greenlit, based on the first success. Though Villeneuve was concerned about the sequel's certainty after the first film had a simultaneous theatrical and HBO Max release, Warner Bros. Pictures assured him the sequel would happen if it performed well on HBO Max. After the critical and commercial success of the first film, Warner Bros. And Legendary greenlit Dune Part 2 in October 2021. Most of the new cast members were announced in 2022. Principal photography took place in Budapest, Italy, Jordan, and Abu Dhabi between July and December 2022. Dune Part 2 was scheduled for a November 3, 2023 release, but it was delayed due to the Hollywood labor disputes. The film had its world premiere at the Auditorio Nacional in Mexico City on February 6, 2024. And was released in the United States on March 1. It has received critical acclaim and grossed over $211 million worldwide against an estimated $190 million budget, making it the fifth highest grossing film of 2024. Accolade.s The trailer for Dune Part 2 received nominations for Best Fantasy Adventure and the Don LaFontaine Award for Best Voiceover at the 2023 Golden Trailer Awards. The film was nominated for Most Anticipated Film at the 6th Hollywood Critics Association Midseason Film Awards,